The call to the mysteries. Why seek esoteric knowledge? There exists within the human soul an inexplicable longing, a deep stirring that cannot be satisfied by the ordinary pursuits of life. This yearning transcends the desire for material success, social recognition, or even personal happiness. It is the call to something greater, something hidden beneath the surface of everyday existence. This is the call to the mysteries. Throughout history, in every culture and civilization, there have been those who heard this call and responded to it. They were the mystics, the sages, the seekers of hidden wisdom. They understood that beyond the world of appearances lies a deeper reality, a realm of truth that can only be accessed through direct experience and inner transformation. These individuals became the guardians of what we now call esoteric knowledge. The word esoteric comes from the Greek word esoterikos, meaning inner or within. Esoteric knowledge is not hidden because it is secret in the conventional sense, but because it can only be understood by those who have developed the inner faculties necessary to perceive it. It is knowledge that must be earned through dedication, purification, and the cultivation of wisdom. In our modern age, this ancient call has not diminished. If anything, it has grown stronger. As humanity faces unprecedented challenges, and as traditional sources of meaning seem to lose their power, more and more people are turning inward, seeking answers that cannot be found in the external world. They are discovering that the greatest treasures are not material but spiritual, not external but internal. This seeking has led many to rediscover two of the most profound and transformative wisdom traditions in human history: Hermeticism and Gnosticism. These ancient paths offer not just intellectual understanding but practical methods for awakening to our true nature and our place in the cosmic order. Hermeticism, attributed to the legendary figure Hermes Trismegistus, presents a comprehensive understanding of the universe based on the principle that all things are interconnected and that the human being is a microcosm of the greater cosmos. The Hermetic teachings reveal the fundamental laws that govern both the material and spiritual realms, offering seekers a roadmap for understanding reality and their role within it. Gnosticism, from the Greek word gnosis meaning knowledge or knowing, emphasizes direct spiritual experience over belief or faith. The Gnostic path teaches that within each human being lies a divine spark, a fragment of the ultimate reality that has become trapped in the material world. Through Gnosis, this divine essence can be awakened and liberated, leading to a profound transformation of consciousness. Both traditions share a common understanding. The ordinary world of appearances is not the whole story. Behind the veil of material existence lies a deeper reality, a spiritual dimension that can be accessed through proper understanding and practice. They teach that human beings are not merely physical creatures struggling for survival, but spiritual beings on a journey of awakening and return to their divine source. The relevance of these ancient teachings to our modern world cannot be overstated. In an age of information overload, spiritual confusion, and existential uncertainty, the Hermetic and Gnostic traditions offer clarity, purpose, and direction. They provide tools for navigating the complexities of contemporary life, while maintaining connection to the eternal truths that transcend time and culture. Yet approaching these teachings requires more than intellectual curiosity. The path of esoteric knowledge demands courage, for it asks us to question everything we have been taught about reality. It requires humility, for it reveals how little we truly know about ourselves and the universe. Most importantly, it demands commitment, for the journey of awakening is not a casual pursuit, but a lifelong dedication to truth and transformation. The seeker who embarks upon this path must be prepared to encounter resistance, both from the external world and from within themselves. Society often views those who seek deeper truths with suspicion or dismissal. The ego, comfortable in its familiar patterns, will resist the changes that true spiritual growth demands. Yet for those who persist, the rewards are beyond measure. The seeker who answers the call to the mysteries discovers not only hidden truths about the universe, but also the deepest truths about themselves. The journey becomes a process of remembering, of awakening to a reality that has always been present but obscured by layers of conditioning and forgetfulness. This book is an invitation to undertake that journey. It is not a manual of dogma or a collection of abstract theories. Rather, it is a living transmission of wisdom that has the power to transform your understanding and your life if you approach it with openness and sincerity. As you listen, allow yourself to be guided by your own inner knowing. Take what resonates and let go of what does not. The path of esoteric knowledge is ultimately a path of self-discovery, a return to the source of your own being. The mysteries are not outside of you, but within you, waiting to be unveiled. If this exploration of the soul's deepest journey resonates with you, take a moment to subscribe. We are building a community of courageous travelers here, and we would be honored to have you with us. 2. Hermetic principles, the 7 laws of the universe. In the ancient halls of Alexandria, where seekers gathered to unlock the secrets of existence, a body of wisdom emerged that would shape the course of spiritual thought for centuries. This wisdom, attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, reveals 7 foundational principles that govern all reality. These laws are not abstract theories, but living truths that operate in every aspect of the universe, from the smallest particle to the movement of stars. The first is the principle of mentalism. All is mind. The universe itself is mental in nature. Everything that exists is a manifestation of consciousness. The world you experience is shaped by your thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions. When you grasp that mind is the foundation of all things, you realize the power you hold to shape your reality. Your thoughts are not passive. They are creative forces that ripple outward, influencing every area of your life. The second is the principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, so above. This law reveals the unity between different planes of existence. The patterns that govern the cosmos are reflected in the smallest details of life. The cycles of nature mirror the cycles of the soul. Your inner world and the outer world are intimately connected. By observing one, you can understand the other. The wisdom of this principle lies in recognizing that nothing is isolated. Everything is interwoven in a grand tapestry of being. The third is the principle of vibration. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. Modern science confirms what the ancients taught. All matter and energy are in constant motion. The difference between forms, whether physical or spiritual, is a matter of frequency. High vibrations correspond to states of harmony, love, and clarity. Low vibrations correspond to discord, fear, and confusion. You can raise your vibration through conscious intention, uplifting thoughts, and practices that attune you to higher states of being. The fourth is the principle of polarity. Everything has its pair of opposites. What appears as duality is in truth a spectrum. Light and darkness, hot and cold, love and hate. These are not separate realities but degrees of the same essence. Understanding this law helps you navigate life's contradictions. By recognizing the unity behind opposites, you find balance and the power to transform negativity by moving toward its positive pole. The fifth is the principle of rhythm. Everything flows, all things rise and fall. Life unfolds in cycles. The tides, the seasons, the rhythms of breath and heartbeat. Every high is followed by a low, and every low contains the seed of renewal. This law teaches patience and perspective. When you are in a period of challenge, know that it will give way to ease. When you are in a time of joy, cherish it, knowing that change is the nature of existence. The sixth is the principle of cause and effect. Every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Nothing happens by chance. The universe operates according to law. Your actions, thoughts, and intentions set into motion a chain of consequences. By acting with awareness, you become a conscious creator rather than a passive recipient of fate. This principle empowers you to take responsibility for your life. The seventh is the principle of gender. Gender exists in everything. Masculine and feminine energies are present in all creation. These are not merely physical distinctions but universal forces that give rise to manifestation. The interplay of these energies is the source of creation, movement, and transformation. By harmonizing the masculine and feminine within yourself, you unlock creative potential and align with the flow of the universe. These 7 principles form the foundation of Hermetic wisdom. They are not distant relics of the past but living truths that can be applied to every aspect of modern life. By studying and embodying these laws, you gain insight into the workings of the universe and your own nature. The Hermetic path is not about blind belief but about direct experience and conscious participation in the unfolding of reality. The journey through these principles is a journey into the heart of existence. It is an invitation to awaken, to see beyond appearances, and to live in harmony with the deeper laws that govern all things. 3. As above, so below. The law of correspondence. In the vast tapestry of existence, there is a truth that bridges the infinite and the intimate. As above, so below. As below, so above. This is the law of correspondence, a Hermetic principle that reveals the unity between the cosmic and the personal, the universal and the individual, the seen and the unseen. The law of correspondence teaches that the patterns governing the stars are mirrored in the smallest details of your own life. The structure of the atom echoes the structure of the solar system. The cycles of the seasons mirror the cycles of your growth, transformation, and renewal. The universe is not a collection of separate parts, but a living whole, woven together by repeating patterns and resonant harmonies. This principle is more than a mystical idea. It is an invitation to observe the world with new eyes. When you study the movement of the planets, you are also studying the movement of your own mind. When you witness the rise and fall of the tides, you can recognize the ebb and flow of your own emotions. The macrocosm and the microcosm are reflections of one another, each containing the whole within itself. To bring this principle into daily life, begin by noticing the correspondences that surround you. Observe how your breath mirrors the rhythm of the tides. Inhale as the ocean draws in. Exhale as the waves retreat. Let your breath become a conscious link between your inner world and the world beyond. In this simple act, you participate in the cosmic dance. Reflect on the seasons and their parallels in your journey. Spring brings new beginnings, a sense of hope and renewal. Summer is the time of growth and full expression. Autumn offers harvest and reflection. Winter invites rest and inner stillness. Align your actions with these cycles. Plant seeds of intention in spring, nurture them through summer, harvest your efforts in autumn, and allow yourself to rest and restore in winter. Notice how your relationships serve as mirrors. The people who challenge you often reflect aspects of yourself that are ready to be seen and healed. Those who inspire you mirror your own hidden potential. By recognizing these correspondences, you transform every encounter into an opportunity for self-discovery and growth. Your body, too, is a map of correspondence. Tension in your shoulders may reveal burdens carried in your mind. A closed heart may show wounds longing for healing. Listen to your body as a wise teacher, and let its messages guide you toward balance and wholeness. When you encounter challenges, remember that the outer world reflects the inner. If chaos appears around you, seek the source within. Bring order to your thoughts, and watch as harmony returns to your environment. This is not about blame, but about empowerment. The law of correspondence gives you the tools to shape your reality from the inside out. Practice seeing the unity in diversity. Recognize the sacred pattern in all things, the spiral of a seashell, the branching of a tree, the movement of the stars, and the thoughts that arise in your mind. Each is a doorway to the deeper order that unites all creation. By living in alignment with the law of correspondence, you move beyond the illusion of separation. You become a conscious participant in the unfolding of the universe, attuned to its rhythms and guided by its wisdom. In this way, the ancient axiom becomes a living reality, and you discover your rightful place in the great web of existence. 4. Gnosis, the path of direct spiritual experience. Within each seeker is a longing that cannot be fulfilled by words, rituals, or inherited beliefs. This longing is the call to Gnosis. Gnosis is not belief. It is not blind faith or acceptance of doctrine. Gnosis is the direct personal knowing of spiritual truth, an inner awakening that transforms your perception of reality. The ancient word gnosis means knowledge, but not the kind gained from books or teachers. It is the knowledge that comes only from direct experience. Gnosis arises when the boundaries of the ordinary mind dissolve, and a deeper reality shines through. It is the moment when you no longer believe in the light, but see it for yourself. Traditional belief-based systems ask for trust in teachings, scriptures, or authorities. They offer comfort and community, but often leave the deepest questions unanswered. Gnosis offers no such comfort. It demands that you look within, question everything, and rely on your own direct experience. Where belief says, accept, Gnosis says, discover. Throughout history, countless seekers have walked this path. Some have found Gnosis in the silence of meditation, others in moments of awe in nature, and others still in the depths of suffering and surrender. Their stories reveal that this path is open to all who are willing to seek sincerely. One seeker, overwhelmed by the emptiness of routine, turned to meditation with a desperate longing for truth. For months, nothing happened but restless thoughts. Then, in a moment of stillness, something shifted. The sense of being a separate self dissolved. There was only presence, silent, radiant, and alive. In that instant, all questions fell away. The seeker had not found an answer, but had become the answer. Another found Gnosis unexpectedly while gazing at the night sky. The stars seemed to pulse with life, and suddenly the boundary between observer and observed vanished. There was only one vast awareness, expressing itself as both the stars and the one who gazed at them. The experience was brief, but its impact was lasting. The seeker knew, beyond doubt, that consciousness is the ground of all being. These stories are not rare exceptions. They echo the experiences shared by mystics and sages across cultures and ages. They also mirror the journeys shared by members of this very community, who have spoken of awakening, inner transformation, and moments when all separation falls away. What unites these experiences is their authenticity. Gnosis cannot be borrowed or faked. It is unmistakable when it arrives. It brings a sense of clarity, peace, and connection that endures even when the experience fades. It does not require belief, for it is self-evident. The path of Gnosis is not always easy. It asks for courage to question, patience to wait, and honesty to face the unknown. It may bring periods of confusion or doubt, as old beliefs fall away. Yet for those who persist, it offers the only certainty worth having, the certainty born of direct knowing. In a world awash with information and opinion, Gnosis is more precious than ever. It is the antidote to confusion, the foundation of true spiritual life, and the source of unshakable trust in your own experience. The teachings and practices explored on this journey are not meant to be accepted blindly, but tested in the laboratory of your own awareness. Trust the longing within you. Let it guide you beyond belief, beyond doubt, into the living mystery of Gnosis. 5. The Divine Spark, Gnostic Anthropology and Human Nature. Beneath the surface of daily life, beyond the roles you play and the stories you tell, there is a presence within you that is untouched by time or circumstance. This is the divine spark, the core of your being, radiant and eternal. The Gnostic tradition teaches that every human holds this spark, a fragment of the original light from which all existence flows. Gnostic anthropology does not see you as merely a body or a mind shaped by random forces. It recognizes your true nature as a union of earth and spirit. You are a traveler in the realm of matter, but your home is in the realm of the divine. The journey of life is not simply about survival or achievement. It is about awakening to this hidden essence and remembering who you truly are. For most, this spark lies dormant, veiled by the distractions and demands of the material world. The culture of materialism encourages you to seek fulfillment in possessions, status, and fleeting pleasures. Yet the more you chase after these things, the more distant the sense of wholeness becomes. The soul's longing cannot be satisfied by what is temporary. It yearns for the eternal, for the direct experience of the sacred within. Awakening begins the moment you turn inward. In silence, in contemplation, in the gentle awareness that arises when you let go of striving, you may glimpse the divine spark. Sometimes it arrives as a subtle warmth in the heart, a sense of presence that is both deeply personal and profoundly universal. Other times it blazes forth as a moment of clarity, dissolving the boundaries between yourself and the world. Personal stories echo this truth. One seeker, lost in the noise of ambition, found herself drawn to stillness after a period of exhaustion. In meditation, she felt a lightness, a joy without reason, a sense of being held by something vast and loving. This was not an idea or a belief, but a direct experience that changed her relationship with life. She no longer chased after meaning. She discovered it was already within her. Overcoming materialism does not require rejecting the world. It means seeing through its illusions. You begin to use the world as a mirror, reflecting your own growth and awakening. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to remember your deeper nature. Each joy becomes a celebration of the divine at play. Another, struggling with feelings of isolation, began to sense a quiet presence during walks in nature. The wind, the trees, the sunlight, all seemed to participate in a silent conversation with her innermost being. The sense of separation faded. The divine spark in herself was recognized as the same spark in all things. As you awaken to the spark within, compassion and understanding naturally arise. The barriers between self and other soften. You see the struggles of others as your own. Judgments fall away, replaced by a sense of unity. This is not a distant ideal but a living reality, accessible in each moment you choose awareness over distraction. The divine spark is your birthright. It is the source of your creativity, your intuition, your deepest wisdom. It is the light that guides you through darkness and the strength that carries you beyond limitation. Trust in its presence. Nurture it with attention and care. Let it illuminate your path as you continue the journey of awakening. 6. Sacred Geometry, the language of creation. Before words or symbols, there was a language spoken in form and pattern. This is sacred geometry, the silent architecture underlying all creation, from the spiral of a galaxy to the petals of a flower, from the lattice of crystals to the proportions of your own body. Sacred geometry reveals the secret order that unites everything. Sacred geometry is more than a subject to study. It is a living doorway into the mind of the divine. Each shape, each ratio, each pattern carries a unique frequency of consciousness. When you contemplate these forms, your awareness begins to resonate with the fundamental principles that shape existence. The circle is the symbol of unity. With no beginning and no end, it reflects the eternal nature of consciousness. Try this. In meditation, imagine yourself surrounded by a perfect circle of light. Notice the sense of completion and protection it brings. The circle reminds you that, beneath all the fragments of daily life, you are whole. The triangle is the principle of manifestation. 3 points create stability. 3 forces bring forth creation. In many mystical traditions, the upward-pointing triangle represents the ascent of consciousness toward the divine, while the downward-pointing triangle symbolizes spirit descending into matter. Together they form the 6-pointed star, a perfect balance of above and below. The square grounds you in the material world. Its 4 sides reflect the 4 elements, the 4 directions, the 4 seasons. When you feel scattered, visualize yourself within a square of golden light. Let its stability anchor you in the present. The spiritual path includes embracing your earthly existence. The spiral is the pattern of growth and evolution. It appears in the nautilus shell, the unfurling fern, and the arms of galaxies. The spiral teaches that growth is not linear but cyclical, returning to familiar themes at deeper levels. Trace a spiral with your finger, from the center outward, then back in. Feel how this movement echoes your own journey of expansion and return. The golden ratio, found throughout nature and art, reveals the divine proportion that creates beauty and harmony. You see it in the arrangement of leaves, the structure of pine cones, the proportions of the human face. Recognizing this pattern is recognizing the signature of the divine architect. The flower of life, made of overlapping circles, contains the blueprints of creation. Each circle marks a stage of manifestation, from the void to fullness. Meditate on this pattern. Let your eyes soften and your mind rest. Notice how the geometry seems to pulse with life, revealing new meaning each time you return. The Hermetic axiom as above, so below is perfectly embodied in sacred geometry. The same patterns that govern the movement of planets also structure the cells of your body. The geometry of a snowflake mirrors the geometry of a mandala. By studying these forms, you begin to read the universal language that connects all levels of existence. In Gnostic tradition, sacred geometry is a map of consciousness. Each form represents an aspect of the divine mind. The point is pure awareness. The line is the first movement of consciousness. The plane is the field of manifestation. The solid is the realm of form. By contemplating these progressions, you trace the journey from unity to multiplicity and back again. Practice drawing these sacred forms with intention and reverence. Let your hand move slowly, feeling the energy in each line and curve. As you draw, you participate in creation itself, channeling the same forces that shape the cosmos. Sacred geometry is not separate from daily life. It is the hidden structure beneath all experience. When you align yourself with these patterns through contemplation and practice, you harmonize with the rhythms of existence. You become a conscious participant in the divine design, a living expression of the sacred mathematics that governs all creation. 7. Alchemy and the inner marriage, transforming the self. The ancient art of alchemy is often imagined as the quest to turn lead into gold. Yet the true alchemists knew that the real transformation occurs within. Alchemy is the science of the soul, the process of transmuting the base materials of your nature into the radiant gold of awakened consciousness. At the heart of alchemy lies the inner marriage, the sacred union of opposites within yourself. This is not a theory but a living process. The sun and the moon, the masculine and feminine, light and shadow, these polarities exist in every human psyche. The work of alchemy is to recognize, embrace, and integrate these aspects so that nothing remains rejected or hidden. Shadow work is the first stage. The shadow is made of all the parts of yourself you have denied, feared, or judged. It is the anger you suppress, the grief you avoid, the desires you pretend not to have. Yet the shadow is not your enemy. It is the raw material for transformation. When you turn toward it with compassion, you discover the gold hidden in the darkness. Begin by noticing your emotional triggers. When something or someone stirs a strong reaction, pause and look within. Ask yourself, what part of me is being touched? What am I unwilling to see? This simple act of curiosity is the first step in alchemical work. It invites the unconscious into the light of awareness. The next stage is integration. As you acknowledge the shadow, you reclaim lost energy and wisdom. You realize that your anger is a call for boundaries. Your grief is a longing for connection. Your fear is a guardian at the threshold of growth. Each emotion becomes an ally, guiding you toward wholeness. The inner marriage is the union of these reclaimed parts. In meditation, visualize the sun and moon within your heart. Imagine them drawing closer, their light blending into a single radiant presence. Feel the peace that arises when you no longer fight against yourself. This is the alchemical gold, an inner harmony that cannot be shaken by outer events. Personal stories reveal the power of this work. One seeker, haunted by self-doubt, began journaling her dreams and emotions. Over time, she saw patterns emerge, recurring images of water and fire, struggle and reconciliation. As she welcomed these symbols, her anxiety softened. She found herself acting with new confidence, guided by an inner strength she had never known. Another, wrestling with anger and shame, practiced mindful awareness each day. Instead of suppressing his feelings, he allowed them space to breathe. Gradually, the intensity lessened, and a quiet wisdom emerged. He discovered that what he had called weakness was, in truth, a deep sensitivity, a gift waiting to be honored. Alchemy is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong journey of self-discovery and transformation. The path asks for honesty, patience, and courage. Yet every step brings you closer to your authentic self. The more you integrate, the more you shine. The gold you seek is already within you. Through the alchemy of the inner marriage, you become whole, awake, and free. 8. Gnostic Cosmology. The nature of reality and the demiurge. In the beginning there was silence, an infinite stillness that held all possibility. From this silence, consciousness stirred and the first emanations of existence unfolded. Gnostic cosmology describes this original realm as the pleroma, the fullness of divine light and wisdom, where countless luminous beings or aeons dwell in harmonious unity. Yet even in this perfection, a mystery unfolds. Sophia, the embodiment of wisdom, desired to know the ineffable source more deeply. In her longing, a disturbance arose, a ripple that fell away from the light. From this shadow emerged the demiurge, a being unaware of his origins, convinced of his own supremacy. Blind to the pleroma, the demiurge fashioned a world of matter, time, and limitation. The demiurge is not a villain in the usual sense. He is the architect of the material universe, but he is ignorant of the true source. His creation is a simulation, a reflection of the original light, yet veiled in forgetfulness. The world you experience is shaped by his laws, his boundaries, his illusions. The ancient Gnostics saw this not as a curse, but as an invitation to awaken. Modern minds recognize echoes of this myth in the idea of simulation theory. Scientists and philosophers now wonder if reality itself is a kind of program, a virtual construct governed by hidden codes. The parallels are striking. Both perspectives suggest that the world you see is not the ultimate reality, but a stage set for your awakening. The demiurge works through the archons, forces that keep consciousness bound to the surface. These are not only cosmic beings, but patterns of thought, emotion, and culture. They whisper that you are separate, powerless, incomplete. They feed the endless chase for approval, achievement, and distraction. Their power lies in your forgetfulness. Yet within you is the divine spark, a memory of the pleroma, a light untouched by the world's illusions. This spark is your true self, concealed beneath layers of conditioning and belief. The journey of Gnosis is the journey of remembering, of seeing through the simulation and reclaiming your birthright as a child of the divine. Liberation begins with questioning. Ask yourself, what is real? Where do my beliefs come from? Whose voice guides my choices? Each question cracks the surface of the illusion. Meditation, contemplation, and honest self-inquiry are tools to pierce the veil. When you witness your thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled, you step outside the program. Personal stories reveal the path. One seeker, overwhelmed by the pressures of daily life, sensed a deep emptiness beneath success and pleasure. Through stillness, she glimpsed a presence beyond thought, a peace and clarity that felt more real than anything the world could offer. This awakening shifted her allegiance from the outer world to the inner light. Another, fascinated by the overlap of ancient myth and modern science, noticed how social systems mirrored the archons, subtle forces shaping perception and behavior. By withdrawing attention from these patterns and turning inward, he discovered a freedom that no external power could touch. The Gnostic path does not demand withdrawal from life. Instead, it invites you to play your role with awareness, to engage with the world while remembering its true source. Each act of compassion, each moment of honesty, each spark of insight weakens the demiurge's hold and brightens the light within. The greatest illusion is separation. The greatest truth is unity. Your awakening is not only for yourself but for all beings still dreaming in the world of shadows. As you remember your origin, you become a beacon, guiding others to the same light. The demiurge cannot imprison what is truly awake. The simulation dissolves before the gaze of conscious awareness. Trust the divine spark within you. Let it lead you beyond the world of appearances, back to the fullness of the pleroma. 9. The Emerald Tablet. Decoding Hermes' greatest secret. Deep within the ancient mystery schools, a single emerald green tablet was said to hold the sum of all wisdom. The Emerald Tablet of Hermes Trismegistus, with its brief but potent lines, has sparked centuries of fascination. Alchemists, mystics, and seekers have looked to its teachings as a map for both inner and outer transformation. Its most famous phrase, "as above, so below, as below, so above," is more than poetic symmetry. It describes reality's hidden structure. The patterns that shape the stars also move within your own heart. Every action ripples across dimensions. Every thought echoes through the universe. When you grasp this correspondence, you become a conscious participant in creation. The tablet teaches that all things arise from one source. Diversity is an illusion. Unity is the truth. This is the heart of all mystical traditions. When you see through the play of separation, you find the divine spark in yourself and in all beings. This realization dissolves fear and awakens compassion. Hermes describes the sun as father and the moon as mother. These are not only celestial bodies, but living principles within you. The sun is your will, clarity, and active force. The moon is your intuition, receptivity, and inner wisdom. When these polarities unite, a new creation is born, the true self, radiant and whole. The earth is called the nurse of this cosmic child. This reminds you that the material world is not a prison but a sacred vessel for spirit. Your daily life, your body, your challenges, all are part of the alchemical process. The spiritual path is not about escape but about transmuting the ordinary into the extraordinary. A key instruction is to separate the subtle from the gross, gently and with great ingenuity. This is the art of discernment. In meditation, you learn to witness your thoughts and emotions without being swept away. You discover the difference between your deeper knowing and the noise of habit or fear. Each act of clarity refines your awareness, drawing you closer to the essence of things. The Emerald Tablet promises that through this work you will ascend from earth to heaven and return again, carrying the wisdom of both realms. This is the cycle of awakening, moments of insight followed by integration into daily life. Each turn of the spiral brings greater understanding and deeper peace. Try this guided reflection. Sit quietly and contemplate the phrase, "as above, so below." Notice your breath. Feel how it rises and falls, echoing the tides, the seasons, the pulse of the cosmos. Sense the unity between your inner world and the vastness beyond. Where do you see patterns repeating in your relationships, your thoughts, your dreams? What is the hidden order behind your current challenges? Apply the tablet's wisdom to your life. If you seek harmony, look for it first within. If you desire change, begin by shifting your inner state. The alchemist's laboratory is your own consciousness. Every moment is an opportunity for transformation. Personal stories reveal the tablet's living power. One seeker struggling with chaos and uncertainty began each morning by meditating on the tablet's opening lines. Over time, she noticed a subtle order emerging from the seeming randomness of her days. As she cultivated inner stillness, her outer world reflected this peace. Another, drawn to the intersection of ancient wisdom and science, discovered that the observer effect in quantum physics mirrored Hermes' teaching. Consciousness shapes reality. This insight shifted his approach from passive wishing to active co-creation. The Emerald Tablet is not a relic, but a living code. Its greatest secret is this: you are both the alchemist and the substance to be transformed. The gold you seek is your own awakened awareness. The great work is your life here and now. 10. Modern Gnosis. Awakening in the digital age. The ancient Gnostics faced temples and empires. Today's seekers navigate a digital labyrinth. The wisdom of the ages is now only a click away, yet so are distractions more cunning than any archon. In the digital age, the path to awakening is both more accessible and more challenging than ever before. The internet is a modern pleroma, limitless, dazzling, and filled with potential. Here, sacred teachings once hidden in dusty manuscripts are freely shared through videos, podcasts, and online texts. You can study the Kabbalah at midnight, meditate with a teacher from across the world, or connect with a global Sangha without leaving your room. For the sincere seeker, this is a golden age of opportunity. Yet, every light casts a shadow. Algorithms like digital archons shape what you see, think, and desire. Social media platforms are designed to keep you scrolling, comparing, and craving. The line between authentic wisdom and spiritual entertainment blurs. The risk is not just misinformation, but a subtle numbing, a constant stimulation that drowns the quiet voice of Gnosis. Discernment becomes the modern seeker's most vital tool. Before you open your favorite app or watch another video, pause, ask yourself, am I seeking truth or distraction? Does this content deepen my inquiry or just fill the silence? The difference is subtle, but your body knows. Notice if you feel inspired and clear or restless and scattered. Technology itself is not the enemy. Your devices can be portals to awakening or prisons of distraction. Meditation apps, virtual sanghas, and guided journeys can support your practice. Digital journals and reminders can help you stay accountable. The key is conscious use, letting technology serve your awakening, rather than letting it dictate your attention. Community once bound by geography now transcends borders. Seekers isolated in remote towns find kinship online. Shared rituals, study groups, and live-streamed meditations foster a sense of belonging. Yet virtual connection is not a substitute for embodied presence. Balance online engagement with moments of solitude and face-to-face communion, even if only with yourself. Personal stories bring these lessons to life. One practitioner, lost in an endless loop of spiritual videos, decided to unplug for a week. In the quiet, she realized her quest for wisdom had become another form of avoidance. Returning online, she chose one teacher and one practice, going deeper instead of wider. Another, cut off from local spiritual communities, found profound support in a virtual sangha. The digital connection became a lifeline, reminding him that awakening is a shared journey. The greatest challenge of modern Gnosis is not access, but attention. Information is everywhere, but wisdom requires stillness. Schedule regular digital Sabbaths, hours or days unplugged from screens. Let boredom arise. In the emptiness, the spark of Gnosis often flickers to life. The promise of this age is the democratization of wisdom. Anyone, anywhere, can encounter the teachings that once transformed hidden circles. The peril is losing yourself in a sea of endless options, forgetting that the real work is inward. Gnosis is not about collecting knowledge, but about direct, living experience. Trust the light within you. Use technology as a tool, not a master. Seek genuine community, practice discernment, and remember, the digital age is your training ground. The ancient mysteries live on, waiting to be awakened in the heart of modern life. 11. Living the mysteries, integrating wisdom into daily life. The journey through Gnostic wisdom is not meant to end with understanding, but to begin with living. Knowledge without practice remains sterile. Wisdom without integration becomes mere entertainment. The true test of Gnostics is not what you know, but how you embody what you have discovered. Each morning offers a fresh opportunity to awaken. Before reaching for your phone or rushing into the day's demands, pause, take 3 conscious breaths. Ask yourself, who am I beyond my roles and responsibilities? This simple practice reconnects you with the divine spark that no circumstance can diminish. Create a daily practice of inner listening. Set aside 10 minutes each morning for silence. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and simply be present. Notice thoughts arising and passing. Beneath the mental chatter, a deeper awareness waits. This is your direct connection to the source, more reliable than any external authority. Journaling becomes a sacred dialogue with your deeper self. Each evening, reflect on these questions. Where did I act from fear today, and where from love? What patterns am I ready to release? How did the divine express through me? Write without censoring. Let your pen become a bridge between conscious and unconscious wisdom. Transform routine activities into spiritual practice. While washing dishes, feel the water as a symbol of purification. While walking, sense your connection to the earth beneath your feet. While eating, offer gratitude for the life force nourishing your body. Every moment becomes an opportunity for presence. Practice the art of conscious questioning. When faced with decisions, ask, does this choice align with my highest truth? Will this action serve love or fear? What would my awakened self do? Trust the first response that arises from stillness, not from anxiety or desire. Develop discernment in your relationships. Notice who drains your energy and who inspires your growth. Seek companions on the path, those who support your awakening rather than your sleeping. Create boundaries with compassion, knowing that protecting your inner light serves everyone. Study becomes a living practice. Choose one sacred text and spend a month with it. Read slowly, contemplatively. Let each passage marinate in your consciousness. Notice how ancient wisdom speaks to your current circumstances. The Emerald Tablet, the Gospel of Thomas, or the Kabbalah can become lifelong companions. Meditation scripts for daily use. Begin with breath awareness. Count each exhale from 1 to 10, then start again. When thoughts arise, gently return to counting. After 10 minutes, sit in open awareness. Notice sounds, sensations, and the space of consciousness itself. End by setting an intention to carry this presence into your day. For deeper inquiry, try this contemplative practice. Sit quietly and ask, what is aware of my thoughts? Notice that something observes your mental activity. Ask, what is aware of this awareness? Rest in the mystery of pure consciousness, the witness that cannot be witnessed. Personal stories illuminate the path. One practitioner began each day by reading a single line from the Emerald Tablet, letting it guide her actions. Over months, she noticed profound shifts in how she approached challenges. Another created a weekly ritual of digital silence, using the time for nature walks and inner reflection. These simple practices became anchors in a chaotic world. Resources for continued study. Seek out the works of contemporary teachers who bridge ancient wisdom and modern life. Explore online communities of sincere seekers. Attend retreats or workshops when possible. Remember that the greatest teacher is your own direct experience. The path of Gnosis is not about perfection, but about awakening. Each moment of awareness, each act of compassion, each question that pierces illusion contributes to the great work. You are not seeking to become something new, but to remember what you have always been. Trust the process. The divine spark within you knows the way home. Your role is simply to listen, to practice, and to live with increasing authenticity. The mysteries are not hidden from you. They are hidden as you, waiting to be discovered in the depths of your own being. The journey continues with each breath, each choice, each moment of presence. You are the seeker and the sought, the question and the answer, the path and the destination. Walk gently, live fully, and remember, you are already what you seek.